Welcome back from our previous course. Since we know what PHP 5 is, what is PHP, and what we ought to know before starting PHP, we said we need to have a basic knowledge of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. But we are going to install PHP Apache now to start getting our hands dirty with PHP. So before getting started, let's load our web browser, load Firefox. You go to www.google.com. So you now type download XAMPP. Anyone you can choose on the 7.7, or let's take 7.3. Then you now click download XAMPP Apache friend. In this place you click the one you want. If you are taking this is the latest version 8.0. then let's take 7.3. so you click, you see the dialog was appear, you click OK. So it is downloading. So I've already downloaded it. When it downloads, you go to the folder. Yes, let me go to my folder where it's downloaded already. So this is it. I double click it, then I click OK. So you wait for the download. You click OK, take next, you click next until install and finish. Because I have it in my system already, there's no need of me installing it. Just click next and click finish. Then when it finish, the XAMPP control will pop up. You will click start and start. Then you start, Apache will start running. Then I click cancel. So now the next thing we need again is Visual Studio Code. Now say download Visual Studio Code. That is the code editor we need for this course. We click. So the same thing you see Linux, Windows, Mac. You take Mac, then there will be you can see, you can click download here. You say thank you for downloading. If you click download, you can see you now click Windows. If you are using Windows, it pop up, you click save. I have it in my system. You follow the same step of installing Visual Studio will install for you. So now let's set it up properly for coding. So now let's go to our drive where we install XAMPP Apache. So we install our drive C. You go to drive C, you take your XAMPP. You only have one XAMPP in your system because of the tutor I take you to. I say I have two in my system. So you go to your XAMPP Apache, you take XAMPP. You only have one in your system. You click it. Under you now go to ht dot. You click ht dot. Here now you will now type a folder. You create a folder, create a new folder. Now say this is a new folder, my new PHP. Then you say my PHP. Let's use short name, my PHP. Good. That is the folder we created, my PHP. So we have created the folder. So the next thing, we will load Visual Studio Code. Then let's load Visual Studio Code. Let's assume that this is closed, it's open already. You look for it will be in your shortcut, your desktop. You load Visual Studio Code is loading. So now what we ought to do now is to go to an open folder. We click file, open new window, because whenever you open Visual Code, it will open existing file before. Then you click new window file, you click file, you now take new window. So this is our new window. So what you want to do, you now see open folder. You click open folder. So remember, we created it in drive C, my PHP. In drive C, you now go to drive C. This is our drive C. You go to XAMPP. Under XAMPP, you now see htdocs. Then we now see my PHP. You click my PHP, you now take select folder. So my PHP is up and running. Then you can click close this. Then we'll create a file now. Create file now, say index.php. There, our PHP file is set up. So now remember, PHP file contain HTML document and the rest. So now HTML document and HTML elements. So for we to set up our HTML, which is the skeleton for setting up our web page, we have to type exclamation mark or we type doc, or depend on the one you want. So let me go with exclamation mark. You can see it shows our skeleton. If you want to go with doc, you can also type doc, give you the same thing. So now this is our skeleton of PHP. So let's start by saying hello world. So before we get started by typing PHP code, PHP syntax started with lesser than, question mark, PHP, question mark, greater than. Then we now type the word echo in string. In strings, you open quote and close quote. We now type hello world. This is my first PHP code. You now end it with semicolon. You save changes. So now for you to show it in our web browser, you have to go to our web browser. We now type in our HTTP, that is our URL. We now type localhost. Remember the folder name. What is the folder name? My PHP. Now type my PHP. Then press enter. Yes, you can see hello world. This is my first PHP code. This is my first PHP code. So now we have learned how to set off PHP code. So let's go and rehearse and how to set up PHP code again so that it will stick to your head. So let's assume that I close my web browser, I close my Apache, I close my Visual Studio Code. So let's start all over so that you will understand what I just taught you. So before getting started, we now click, we look for Visual Studio Code. You can see, double click it. So when you double click it, it load. So you can see this is not our file. We can click here and take new window. So on the new window, we now click file. Now say open folder. You click open folder here. You go to your drive where you save that folder, drive C. You go to my XAMPP, htdocs. On htdocs, you now click my PHP. Then you now select folder. So when selecting the folder, you can see the file has already loaded. Then you now go to your browser. Remember, before you can output HTML on your web browser, you have to run your Apache server. So to get our Apache server, you can click here. Then let's go to our Apache server drive C. That is where we store it. You click XAMPP. On XAMPP, you scroll down. You will now see XAMPP control. You double click it. then it will load your Apache server. In case this place is not green, you can click start. Let's assume by default you can see by default you can see it will show start. By default it will show start. So for you to run it, you have to click start. Just follow the process. You can see our Apache and MySQL is up and running. Then you minimize it. So then you now click your web browser. Then you now type localhost/my.php. Then you press enter. You can see it say hello world, this is my first PHP code. So thank you for paying more attention for this course. So that is how to set off PHP for coding. So we have learned how to install PHP and learn how to set it up for coding. So thank you. See you for the next lesson.